we have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have the most activity we've ever had. I'm making a speech tomorrow night, and you'll be hearing me say that. I mean, it's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
Oh, okay, cool, great. Well, let's talk about it then. I mean, the president seems to think the economy is doing great. So let's just check in on the American people to make sure we're all on the same page.
A new poll found that 64% are against President Trump's tariffs. Is it a losing proposition for Trump? I'm asking you a political question, I guess, but what do you think? Is this what's causing the disapproval?
It is a losing proposition. My goodness, the Supreme Court gave Trump an exit ramp to get away from tariffs, to get away from his obsession with tariffs as being a cure-all for what ails the U.S. economy. He didn't take advantage of it. When people voted him into office, they wanted a containment of price inflation, less price inflation. And unfortunately, there is no way in the world that the imposition of tariffs helps Trump and the Republican Party help to make America affordable again.
Oh, right. I forgot that when the American people elected Donald Trump, they actually wanted him to make the prices of things go down, or at the very least not go up. So, kind of like how they wanted, the number of wars we were in to go down, or at least not up. But listen, guys, this is 4D as in Donald chess, and he ain't exactly playing with all of the pieces. Everybody knows that if you want the prices of things to go down, you make the prices of things go up. That way, the people who are already paying too much for things continue to pay too much for things. I mean, that's just basic math. That's the art of the deal. Speaking of math, if your president just slaps tariffs on every country that he can point to on a map, what percentage of those tariffs will be paid for by the American people? And please show your work, because you will be having to do more work to afford anything.
There was a study by a Federal Reserve economist and group, I think, that said, look, 90% of the tariffs have been passed on to American consumers and businesses. Now, Kevin Hassett, the president's chief economic advisor, says that's a faulty study. Ignore it. What do you say? Were the tariffs passed on to consumers?
The prices of tradable goods, of tangible goods for the most part, are higher than otherwise because of tariffs. Right now we have goods price inflation at about 1.7%. Some might say, well, that's tolerable. But if we go back to Trump's first term in office, prior to COVID, goods price inflation didn't exist. I think we had goods price deflation for the most part. The prices of manufactured goods, tradable goods, were generally flat to somewhat lower. And that's what I think voters expected when they put Trump back in office, but that's not what they're seeing.
Yeah, I have a buddy who lost his small business due to these tariffs. He lost all of his employees. He lost his house. Now he lives with his family out of his old warehouse. So yes, these tariffs are in fact impacting a lot of small businesses. And guess what? Small businesses aren't happy about it.
Initial reaction from small businesses, a group called We Pay the Tariffs. It's a coalition of 800 small businesses across the country who weren't happy about the tariffs, saying they were the ones paying the brunt of these costs. They just put out a statement saying they're sending immediate letters to the White House and Congress demanding, quote, full, fast, and automatic tariff refunds.
I mean, I hope they get what they want, even if I think We Pay the Tariffs isn't maybe the catchiest name they could have come up with. It does get the point across, point being, we pay the tariff. So what are Republicans doing about this? Well, they're going on TV and speaking in a very level-headed, calm manner while giving Donald Trump everything he wants. Just never change, Republicans. You're perfect the way you are.
As a means by which to force trade renegotiations, I had no problem with it. As a long-term mechanism by which to keep in place, I don't support. And so the question will be now, how does Congress, which frankly has abdicated its responsibility on tariffs for almost 100 years?
Well, what about
you? It didn't just start this year.
The president's threatening.
It has been going on for over 100 years, where Congress has basically given the executive a lot of authority on tariffs. Now you have the Supreme Court weighing in and saying, no, Congress has a role. And so we are going to be working through that process as we move forward. And I think it's going to be incumbent on the administration to sit down with Congress to determine the best path
Just
forward.
real quick, and I want to keep going around. The president is already withdrawing his support for one of your colleagues because he defied the president on tariffs. Does that make you think twice about voting against tariffs?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm focused on the substance of the issue, and we will work through it.
Rebecca?
I mean, Congressman, didn't you vote for tariffs? I think this is the whole problem is you're making life harder for people in your district, right? Like costs are going up and you say Congress should be in check, but you haven't checked the president's power. You haven't let him like moderate at all. He's unchecked, and the only Republicans who ever go at him are people who are either retiring or who have lifetime appointments. I think this is the problem with the Republican Party today. No one wants to go up against Trump. He's making life harder for everyday Americans. Costs are going up, and no one in his party will stand up to him.
Yeah, but my job is just to go on TV and say what I think Americans want to hear and then go do the exact opposite thing. That guy kind of looks like one of those kids from Freaks and Geeks, but all grown up. Yeah, I'm showing my age a little bit. Speaking of age, let's take a trip down memory lane. The last thing you would want right now, if you were a Republican, was for some viral video to start recirculating again of the Republican president of the United States while he's currently in the process of destroying the economy, talking about how, generally speaking, the economy does better under Democrats. You would just hate that, wouldn't you?
I've been now around long. I think of myself as a young guy, but I'm not so young anymore. And I've been around for a long time. And it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. Now, it shouldn't be that way. But if you go back, I mean, it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats
Well,
than
it
the
certainly
Republicans.
did well under Clinton.
Well,
but I
it did.
wouldn't suggest it was so great under Jimmy Carter.
That's true. That's
if
true.
you remember, the
That's
interest
true.
rates.
No, I know. It's Jimmy Carter was not in the same thing, but certainly we had some very good economies under Democrats as well as Republicans. But we've had some pretty bad disaster under the Republicans.
Awkward. And yeah, I don't say this very often, but Trump was correct. Yeah, generally speaking, the economy does do better under Democrats than Republicans, though there is much debate about causation versus correlation. But wowie zowie, is there a lot of correlation? You know what I'm talking about? So with this Supreme Court decision, Trump has the opportunity to be the good guy. He could just issue checks to the American people, but they don't see him doing that because being the good guy isn't really his strong suit. It would almost be like admitting he was wrong, and I don't think he's psychologically capable of doing that because of the, what do you call it, malignant narcissism. All right, so hopefully now the working class can unite and pry all of the power away from the dying clutches of these capitalist vultures. How do we do that? I don't know. I'm just the idea guy. Yeah, you guys, other people have to figure it out. But when you consider what's going on with the tariffs, when you consider what's going on with the new war in Iran, and when you consider what's going on with ICE running rampant, the Epstein files, and what was it? Oh yeah, aliens. I just get choked up thinking about it. It seems like there's so much chaos happening that it makes it impossible to even think about organizing. How do we organize? I don't know. I'm just an idea guy. All right. I think one thing we can do in the meantime is keep our sanity, because I think that is the one thing that they're actually still trying to take from us. They've already taken the money. Now I think they want our absolute last shreds of sanity. So hang in there, everybody. I would say it's going to be okay, but at least some people will be okay. So we have that going for us. Who knew the apocalypse would be so exhausting? I'll see you next time, folks. They're just going to keep the prices high, and corporations are going to make a lot of money. So it's not going to be good. The sun. Here it comes.